Hello everyone. I'm back. A little bit better as you can see. I have what I need. I didn't get a chance to do enough of it, but it's enough to at least talk. You see, I couldn't talk before because what they tell me I need actually isn't helping me, and I know this firsthand, and no one can tell me otherwise because I know. As you can see, I'm speaking a lot better because I have what I need. How do I explain this thing that I need that the entire world would not understand? But I have to. It's like I'm all alone. I'm the only one. And it's hard for me to explain it in such a way without the people who disagree with it, who are the same people taking my life for the last 6 years for me doing nothing, but taking what I need. That's why they're holding me. They are giving me medication. This medication, believe it or not, controls you. It controls your thinking. It is literally can stop you from certain thoughts coming out of your mouth as you want to say them. It has that effect. It can actually do that. It is crazy to think that something can control the way you think. But when they tell you firsthand, these things, their therapies, are designed to help you think better for them, for yourself, it's a lie. Pardon me. I'm going to go on a little bit more because I only have as much of what I need as I can take without it being held against me, because those people have a test to say I have taken what I know I need, but they say I cannot have it. I only have enough for me to get rid of it by tomorrow when I have to do the test. I have to keep on going. I have to give myself that out. Because the second they bring me back and lock me up indefinitely, it could be all over. At this point, I don't care about the little stuff. I don't care if I just spent $90 on paintball tickets and I can't use them. I don't care if they take away my license and I can't drive. I don't care about anything else but making sure I can do those things at all. So I have to do what I have to do in order to keep doing the things I have to do anyways, because they don't want me to be a person that is fully recovered. They want me to be a person who is stable enough to take their income that they give me to live off just food and shelter, but be forced to take their medication that in turn makes them more money for themselves. So, to get that therapy out of me, the only way I can do it is by doing the things I have to do that counteract that therapy. This therapy that the whole world is being told is the only way to cure someone with a mental illness is wrong. it's actually making the mental illness worse because they can take care of that. They can take care of the mental illness. If I have what I need, then they can't take care of me because I'm fixed. As you can see now, there's a mild difference between the last two videos because I took a good amount of what I needed all at once to counteract what they say I need, which is not what I need. That in turn released all the therapy, the medication, at once to counteract my rightful need. That is the reason why the last video was so hard to get out of me. But now that I have what I need and I can say, as I need to say it, I can spend this whole night trying to tell at least some people, everyone has to hear this, but I'm going to need help with that. Help me, God. That's the only way. I have to tell you, mental illness, this therapy that they give people is designed to captivate the patients so that they can live stable enough to take the medication and live so that more medication can be taken. Why do they want us to take so much medication? Because they're making money off of it. When you see someone take this medication for years, decades, lifetimes on end, you see that person change. The hospital, the people giving the therapy, will tell you, the public, the society, that this is a result of the medication, yes, but it was the only way that person could have lived this long and not committed a crime or done anything wrong or whatever, and this is the only way it could have been handled. When I have proven throughout my years of therapy that I have taken what I know I need, but they say they have to hold me because I am possibly a threat to public, when I have never been a threat to public in the entire time that I have been under their therapy. But they say because I've taken the things that I need, I could possibly be a threat to public because down the line, if I keep taking the things that I need, it could result in me making another mistake. Now, I made mistakes, fair enough, but those mistakes that I made, if I had known that it would cost me 6 years of my life to this day for what was a 30-day jail sentence, I would not have done them. That is what they hold against you. They see you with a little criminal history. They say, we can take care of you. We can fix you. We can stop you from making mistakes. And I have. But that's on me, being forced to do so. And I would have done so anyway. But the fact, how do I explain this? The fact that I did it on my own is what they want to take from me and say the medication was the reason why I didn't do those things. When in reality, it was because I was being punished so hard for such a little thing that they backed me into a corner and I had to follow all their rules as if I was a slave, and there was no other way I could see daylight or freedom for my own unless I followed them. And I've tried to follow them for the last 6 years. I've gone to school. I've held jobs. I've created music. I've been socially active. I've had a club named after me. I have done everything that I can do to prove I'm a good person. You would argue, okay, he goes to the club. He's a bad guy. But you know what? That was therapy for me. Being social. Being able to induce in things that counteract the therapy that they prescribe, and the therapy that they prescribe has numerous, multiple, harsh, unknown side effects that they disregard because they say it is worth it if he has these side effects, rather than him living the way he was supposed to live, just off food, air, and water, a normal life like we all know we need, and God-given presences. When you manipulate a drug so many times to the point it can do so much bad for your body, and this next part that I'm going to say will not be understood by most people, but I take narcotics that the government says are bad and are not needed, when in reality they were here first, they are more natural, they are what I'm on right now, and you can see, even though I'm saying things that are hard to believe, as best that I can do to try to convince you that these things, the drugs, the narcotics that are out on the streets, these things are actually, they're good for you. The only reason the government says they're bad is because the people who have to sell them get so caught up in the money behind it. It's the greed and the fact that they're always in danger of being caught, and it causes them to shoot guns and kill people over money to save themselves. When if the drugs were controlled and given to the people properly, like everything else, there would be no drug-related violence behind the narcotics. I go to my friend's house, I get what I need, everyone's having a good time, but they don't understand. These things can fix people. In my case, these drugs that the hospital prescribes me are antipsychotics. It sounds like a good thing for something to be antipsychotic, but they really just slow your mind down to the point you have no aspiration to do anything. You have no motivation to do anything. As you saw in my last video, I had no energy or power to do anything because I had taken my therapies that resulted in a release of the therapies that the hospital makes me take. And because of that release, I was so unmotivated, it just crippled me. But when I'm on the stuff I need, the narcotics, I'm uncrippled. I am okay. I am a little bit tense, but I'm trying to relay this as best I can. I believe personally throughout this video, I have explained myself in such a way that is normal. The last video was not normal, and the last video was a result of counter reactions to my needs. They were counter-reacted by an injection of antipsychotics. The antipsychotics get released slowly, but when I push my therapies on to those therapies fight back. And how do they fight back? They make me think slower. And I couldn't relay what I wanted to say, even though I had to say it. At that moment, the feeling I had to be told. So then, I did the best that I can in the last video to say something, and I had to stop the video, and I had to realize I need more of what I need, and I'm keeping it into the range that I can still get away with it because I have to get it out of my system to give them a sample of my urine without it being there. While having their medications present. Their medications have so many side effects that are so harsh and unknown. They admit that to the patients and people of the world who ask them. My medications are from a natural source. This is what I actually need. If you go back and check the videos, there is a drastic difference between their therapies, counteracting my therapies in the last video, as opposed to my therapies now finally being used to make this video to explain to you. The last video was the therapy at work. It couldn't even let me talk or speak what I needed to speak, to the point where I truly believe, call me crazy, they knew I was making a video that goes against their therapies, and they had the therapies that they gave me work against me so that I didn't say what would work against their therapies. So I would say I took my therapies. I am on them right now. When I am on their therapies, they keep it so it's subtle. They make it so your mind slows down. It makes you clogged up, foggy. You can't even get the thoughts that are in your head out of your mouth. Because I had taken my therapies, their therapies worked hard to get rid of my therapies. They overpowered them. I had to take more of my therapies to get to this point in this video to say as much as I said. If I don't take my therapies, I will not experience the harsh, unknown, and all the side effects that come from their therapies right away. They do it in such a way that it happens over time. Because if it happened right away, obviously it wouldn't be good for me, but more importantly for them, they wouldn't be able to take care of me because I am fixed. They need to be able to care for me. They need to be able to take care of me so they can make money. If there is no one to take care of, they cannot take care of anyone and they won't make money. Therapy does not need to last years, decades, lifetimes on end. In the first 6 years of my therapy, I have not done anything to harm anyone or thing. I have not been a threat to public. Their argument is because I was taking my therapies, I possibly could be a threat. Even though I haven't been, they still argue it could have been possible if he continued to do his therapies. When I know firsthand That is not the case. And I cannot tell them that because they will tell me otherwise. So I have to tell it through this video, and it's the only way I can say it, because they won't let me say it. Even though it needs to be said. Their business relies on the fact that they have to take care of me. But if I am fixed, which is what they don't want fully, they want me to be stable enough to live, and they give me enough food to have shelter and food, so I will keep living, but I have to keep taking their therapies, which they are saying is keeping me stable. I'm more stable I am now, and I'm on my therapies. There's no arguing that. Do I have to show you take my therapies? This is my therapy. This is my therapy. So help me God. I'm going to do it. This is my therapy. This is my therapy. That. What is it? It's my therapy. This is how I take it. I have to save it. Some of you may know what it is. I'm not going to tell you what it is. I don't have to. That's my therapy. Do you see me climbing up the walls? Am I a little frustrated? I'm a little tense. Not really, because my therapy's kind of calmed me down right now. There is a little understanding that isn't known. If you take this certain therapy with the therapies that are prescribed to the public at the LCBO and the beer store, that can result in doing something that makes this therapy look like something else that it really isn't. Because the LCBO and the beer store are not natural therapies. Why wouldn't they want us to sell us the natural therapy like marijuana? That we know has so many benefits. Rather, they sell us alcohol. Because we can make mistakes on alcohol more often than we will on marijuana. That benefits crime. Crime is a huge business. The government wants crime. The government builds more jails in some places than it does schools. Jails are filled with people taking their own therapies, selling their own therapies. Some people have taken what the society calls therapy, the alcohol. They have taken that because they think that's what is allowed. That's what they're supposed to do instead of therapies such as marijuana. Do you understand? They want you to make mistakes. They don't want you to progress. Why is it when you go to school, they teach you stuff that you never use in life? Why would I have to learn the history of wars and conflicts when in reality I should know how to grow my own food and build a shelter? I should know how to take care of myself. I should know how to think, not what to think, not memorizing a bunch of so-called facts. That doesn't help me. So what? Someone asks me a question and I know the answer to something like, when did Christopher Columbus go to sea? Oh, well, in 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. That's one thing I want to continue with. How did I remember that over all the stuff that I chose not to remember? It's because they used it through art. Self-expression is such a key part of life that I didn't have, but now that I do, it has changed my life drastically. There needs to be self-expression throughout our world. I have to go on to another point I'm thinking right now, which is religion. I am all for religion. I believe, but I believe a little bit different than most people. I believe that if I am allowed to believe in my religion, in my beliefs, that they should be what I want to believe in. And I'm not saying that everyone in religion is following the religion because they don't want to, but if you make a mistake that your religion says you shouldn't have done, and you should feel bad for yourself, does that not make you happy? Do they have the right to say that you have now lost faith? That you should be frowned upon? Or would a religion allow you to know that you're not going to be perfect, you're going to make mistakes, but the fact that you believe alone will carry you through those mistakes and make you a better person? I'm not saying go out and go commit crimes, in a sense. But if you believe your crime is conflicting with your beliefs, and now you have to follow your beliefs while making a crime, does that mean that the government is telling you what to believe? Making you adjust your religion? I personally believe God works in any way you let God work. If you believe you did something wrong, even though at the time you didn't think that, because you wouldn't have done it, would God say to you, you are wrong for believing what you believed was right, just because a government says otherwise, against your beliefs? There's certain religions I disagree with. Not entirely, but certain parts of it. But who am I to say that person cannot believe in what he needs to believe in? It's his belief. And it's going to be hard for me to explain this next part. But we know there is a religion. I don't follow it enough to know everything about it. But there is what the media calls extremists who go out and they kill people. That works against my beliefs. It's their beliefs. But this is the hard part that I'm trying to explain. These people come from a place where their society did not give them beliefs I'm going to say it. It contradicts the fact that man is allowed to believe in whatever they want. But somewhere down the line, men in other countries made a religion due to the fact that the area they were in was not what they wanted it to be. So they in turn believed they would kill people to make it so that their beliefs would be found for themselves. Basically, we are products of our environment. No one's gonna be perfect. There's gonna be mistakes. I don't know how to explain this part. There is beliefs that go against my beliefs in other religions, like killing people. Those people did that because they had a choice to go with the people who didn't believe in such a thing, to kill people, or be part of the people killing the people so that they didn't get killed themselves. If you tell someone, it is my belief that I have to kill you if you do not believe me, what are you going to do? You're going to believe them so that you get to live. And that, in turn, builds a religion that results in killing people. But that sole religion, that belief, came from someone not getting the beliefs they truly needed. They believed that they should have had a world where food was not a problem. Food should never be a problem. God did not put us on this earth so that people didn't have enough food to eat or have a shelter to live in. That caused these people to have to rebel and make their own beliefs to convince other people, or should I say force them, to believe the same way. In result, they killed people who didn't respect their beliefs. But I believe, I know it started from someone not getting what they truly needed. These are poor countries. How do you get unpoor? You have to have power so you can take what you need. They didn't have the option to go to school, to learn something, and make a life for themselves. And they shouldn't have to, because you know what? In bare essence, we just need food to live and a roof over our head. We forced these people to be what they believed they needed to do, which was kill people. They had to do it. They were poor. But if they can pick up a gun and point it to someone's head and say, "Give me that food," that's the belief they're going to go with. Because you know what? It keeps them alive. But it shouldn't be so hard for people to live. People shouldn't have to work careers for jobs that are unnecessary to the Earth's stability. The Earth is unstable. It's warm. It has a fever. It's warming up and it's dying. And it's going to kill everyone on the Earth for building its sickness. We build buildings and streets and metal and asphalt, and it's making the Earth really hot. And now the Earth is sick. Why do we not focus on that? Why not? It doesn't have to be hard. We could actually just go back to growing enough food for everyone. It is a solution. But why do we not choose to do it? We are so manipulated and brainwashed into thinking we have to go to a factory and work 12 hours a day just to put food on the table. That factory has nothing that we need. But we put so much effort and work into it just to get the little stuff that we actually need. That's a mistake. We need the things we need. If we don't get them, it changes our beliefs. If someone has everything they need, they don't have to believe in stealing or robbing someone or committing crimes. So they won't. It's the poor people who were not given the fair life that everyone deserves. They were born in a world where they were told they were not equal. What's different between me and you? There is nothing different between us. Someone, somewhere down the line, said, I have to be better than everyone. They created money, and they said, I have money that will be used to buy everything you need. I am the bank. Unless you have money, you cannot have the things you need. But it actually doesn't need to be that way. We can have the things we need without needing money. There's nothing about money that means you get what you need. There's nothing that money can do. What can money do? It can't do anything. It's worth nothing. It's just paper. You can't eat it. So why must we have a bunch of nothing to actually have the stuff we need? And why do people with more of nothing get more of what they need, and even more of what they want. It is nothing. We need to focus on what we need. All the smoke in the air from the airplanes, the cars, and the factories is not what we need. We know this. We know we don't need it. But we keep doing it. It's because money made us do it. We felt entitled to do it because we had a lot of money. There are people who have so much money they could save the world. What better thing to do with money than save the world you live on and save your equal people that you are equal to? There's nothing better than that. But why don't they do it? Because they can better themselves instead. And that's what greed is. Bettering yourself before bettering the earth that you live on. There is no solution in competition. There is no need for competition. There should be no reason why men and women and children have to work to get what they need. The only work that they should do to get what they need is the work needed to get what they need. They shouldn't have to do something else that is not needed to get what they need. They should just focus on doing what they need to do to get what they need. If they need food, they should grow it. If they need a house, they should build it. Instead, we let money be the reason why we get the things we need.